You're using a guy you're investigating for suspicious ties to Russia to spy on Donald Trump? So there are two stories, two narratives. The real one, the FBI used the dossier. The fake story, Papadopoulos did it. Ignatius prints this article in the Washington Post just a month after the Papadopoulos origin story starts in the Washington Post. David Ignatius, January 16, 2018. Again, just a month later after the Papadopoulos origin story. The truth about the FBI's Russia probe. David Ignatius, the truth. That's hilarious. That's really funny. Now, keep in mind why he's writing this, because it'll make sense. He's writing this article, again, to distract you from the dossier because they know it's fake and to get you to pay attention to, no, it was the Papadopoulos Australia thing. So look at this screen cap from the piece. I want you to, this is important. This is critical. Quote, Ignatius, Soviet Ignatius. The FBI was now very interested based on the Australian account. Here they go with this Papadopoulos crap. Knowledgeable sources say. The Bureau requested another meeting with Steele to dig deeper. That encounter took place around October 1st in Rome with Steele's old FBI contact. At this meeting, the FBI official asked Steele if he had ever heard of Papadopoulos, according to an official familiar with the matter. Steele hadn't. Come back to me for a second. Just keep that ready because I may need to go back to that. Steele hadn't heard of Papadopoulos. Steele hadn't heard of Papadopoulos in October? Well, that's fascinating. Remember, keep in mind, this is why my audience, you're so much smarter than everyone else. You're so prepared for this case. Ignatius is only writing this piece because he's a parrot for an FBI leaker who wants to get you away from the dossier story. So in trying to disconnect the dossier from Papadopoulos story, Ignatius just takes this FBI guy at his word that, hey, and writes it that Steele hasn't heard of Papadopoulos. But ladies and gentlemen, that one simple sentence, Ignatius was too stupid to figure out, debunks and discredits the entire dossier, and he doesn't even know what he's doing. He thinks he's trying to parrot the FBI narrative. No, the Papadopoulos story did it. Look, Steele didn't even know about him. He doesn't realize what he's really doing is discrediting the entire dossier, hat tip, undercover humor, for a brilliant find there. How? How does that one line that Steele doesn't even know Papadopoulos discredit absolutely everything they did, and Rice and everyone else knows this, and they're freaking out? We got to go back to the IG report a little bit here. Let's go back to the IG report and check this out. This is them confirming in Michael Horowitz's IG report where he looked at this internal affairs investigation, that the CHS, confidential human source, that's Steele. See, he advised that he was not aware of Papadopoulos. So the Washington Post gets that right. Ignatius is too stupid to figure out what he's doing. So now we know that even according to the IG report, Steele has no idea who Papadopoulos is. I thought this guy, Joe, he's wired in Steele. Steele's got all these Russian sources. He knows all about PP tapes and the Trump team and this collusion deal. But he has no idea who Papadopoulos is. It's strange. That's really weird. Let's go to IG report screen cap here, number 2. If you'd like to read along at home, youtube.com/Bongino. That's interesting because when they spoke to Steele and his primary subsource, they say that, for example, Steele identified a subsource, person 1, who Steele said was in direct contact with Steele's primary subsource. And that person 1 is, quote, a boaster or an egoist. Okay, come back. Let me translate that for you. It's Bongino translator time. Person 1 is believed to be an individual named Sergei Milian. So just to be clear, what that in the IG report is saying is that Christopher Steele's main source, what they call the PSS, Christopher Steele's primary subsource, the guys he's dealing with for all this fake stuff we know is fake, but Steele says he's getting it from him, the PSS, primary subsource. The primary subsource says, I got it from Milian. You got it from Milian? You sure? Sergei Milian gave you all that? Follow me. Let's come back to the IG report again. Interesting. Person one is Milian, who's allegedly talking to another person, Steele source, who's telling this to Steele. Back to the IG report. Person one again, Milian, was the subject of an open FBI counterintelligence investigation. What? So let me get this straight. Keep that up there for a bit because this is important. So Sergey Milian has a counterintelligence investigation open on him too? Who's really colluding with the Russians here? The FBI's investigating a guy for alleged counterintelligence and suspicions that worry the United States so much, and then they're allowing this guy to be a source for a guy, and they're using his information in court to spy on him? Come back to it. This is where it gets even better. Not only is person one, Milian, have an open counterintelligence investigation, the New York field office opened the case after consulting with and notifying Case Agent 1 and Senior Special Agent 1 prior to October 12, 2016, 9 days before the FISA application was filed. What does that mean? I'm going to tie this in. Don't you worry. Who's SSA 1, Senior Special Agent 1? It's Joe Pianka. You know Joe Pianka from yesterday's show, the same guy who interviews Mike Flynn at the White House, January 24th with Peter Strzok, and they frame him for false statements. Remember that guy? The same guy responsible for the Woods file? In other words, the file where they're supposed to check off the information in the dossier and actually verify it? It's the same guy. Pianka knows everything. 279er thinks Pianka's cooperating. That's why he wasn't fired. He may be right. I don't know. All I'm telling you is, Pianka, we need to hear from you. Like stat. Joe Pianka knows everything. He interviewed Mike Flynn when he's framed at the White House for false statements he didn't make. He monitored the dossier and maintained the file on the dossier that was never verified. And apparently he knows about person one, Sergey Milian, and a counterintelligence investigation. Person one, the same guy they're using as a source to spy on Trump. You're using a guy you're investigating for suspicious ties to Russia to spy on Donald Trump?
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.